So now we're going to go fight the Collector, which is the boss of Act 5, Chapter 2, Map 6, which gets you Uncollected if you beat him. I had to use 2 team revives here to get through this with this team of 4 stars. So it's definitely possible to beat him. Just remember that you are going to have to revive. I would recommend not really healing because you're not going to survive long enough in general anyways. And I would also recommend using team revives unless you have a particular champion that you're fighting much, much better with, because you're going to have 5 attempts per. So the big thing here is he has tenacity, so if you do stun him, he can drop that stun very easily. So you have to kind of delay yourself a little bit and then get in there right after to make sure that he actually is stunned. His first super is very difficult to dodge, which I just tried to do there. So make sure that when you are getting hit by his first super, just take it on the shield at the beginning. Otherwise you will die trying to dexterity it, unless you're very good, in which case just go for it. So let's take a look at his abilities here. He can regenerate basically whenever he loses 20% of his max health. Additionally, as he loses health, he gets more relics. So below 85%, he can only take 3% of max damage per hit. Below 70, he gets increased damage. Below 55, he becomes unblockable in terms of special attacks. Below 40, he's stun immune, bleed immune, poison immune. Below 25%, he becomes unstoppable periodically. And then below 10%, he can basically Astro Overload to regenerate. Now, the interesting thing here is that you'll see in this fight is that when he drops below 40%, he's supposed to be stun immune, bleed immune, and poison immune, and power lock immune. But what you'll see is that after you initiate a fight below that amount of health, you can still bleed him and you can still stun him. So I'm not exactly sure what's happening there. It might be a little bit of a odd mechanic, or maybe I'm not fully understanding it, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so I'm using Magik here. So one of the great strategies against the Collector is using someone that can power lock him, especially early when he's not resistant to power lock. What you're going to do with Magik is basically try to get to your second super by taking the first super on your shield when you need to bait him, and then you're just going to basically power lock him against the wall. When you do that, you basically are just going to hit him immediately afterwards. It's great if you have limbo, so that way you can get your health backwards. You're basically just going to attack him over and over again, using your second super to basically power lock him and stop him from killing you with a super. Make sure that you do dodge those heavy attacks at the end of the combos. You just basically dash backwards, dash in. Keep a track of that counter for Bane, but in general, you'll probably get killed fairly quickly due to chip damage against a 4-star. That's fine. The other way you can do it is Vision. I didn't do a great job here, but you can do the same thing, which is push him against the wall, and then basically use your first and second super to basically power lock him down. He doesn't actually power lock, but you're basically going to be power burning him and keeping him below a super bar, so that way you can continuously damage him. For the Collector, again, I'm not using any particularly great champions other than Magik and Vision for keeping him down in terms of power, but other great champions are, because his attacks are ranged when you use his first and second super, using anyone that can basically evade projectiles. So this would be like Daredevil. You could use Stark Enhanced Spider-Man. This would basically keep you alive longer because you're basically just going to dodge out of those specials. So right there, if you had started to just evade naturally because of projectiles, then you would have been able to get back in and get another combo win. So in general, you're going to be dying a lot throughout this. I would say on general, with a team of max 4 stars, you're probably going to be using 2 to 3 team revives. I would recommend that you use your boosts. So if you have any health boosts, any attack boosts, I'm not using them here just to show that it is possible. But again, any boost to your attack or health or damage is going to be able to have a lot higher survivability and a lot more damage over time. So that way you can get through this with less revives. But I would recommend having at least 3 to 4 team revives in reserve just in case. When you do get against a wall like this, and he has his third super or second super, just continuously attack him. So attack him as soon as you use your super, right afterwards, that way you can maybe get a combo win. Sometimes the AI allows you to basically attack right after a super before they activate their third super. Damage over time, people are great as well, so Cold Snap, bleeds, especially anyone that has stun lock ability, especially early on. Additionally, you also can do anyone that increases their own attack damage, but you're better off doing someone that can have more attack up front. That's going to be the best strategy. So right now he just dropped below 40%, so he should be immune to stun and to bleed. And that's what you're seeing right here when you try to stun him, he basically says no. This is also a great Iceman. You can do Cold Snap, you can get more damage in over time. Again, this is not when you're looking to basically survive the entire time. There are people that can do that for sure, I'm not really one of them right now. I have not fought the Collector a lot, but the big thing here is I'm just showing you how do you do this if you have a team of 4 stars. It is completely doable. Just make sure you're going very, very slowly. So right here, he should be immune to everything, but then basically you can still bleed him, which is a little bit odd because he should be bleed immune. I might just not be fully understanding the mechanic again, so just keep that in mind. But it does seem like you can still get bleeds on him sometimes, even when he's supposed to be immune, which is a little bit odd again. So again, what you're going to do is you're basically just going to attack, try to get damage in. As soon as he gets above a single bar of super energy, become very, very aggressive. Because as soon as he activates that first bar of super, he's going to kill you, unless you have someone that can projectile evade, or someone that's extremely good at dodging if you're very, very good at that dexterity. So in general, I would recommend that you just get your damage in as fast as possible. Play a little more cautiously at the beginning, because that way you can still do more damage until he gets his first bar super. But as soon as he gets that first bar super, you're just going to get in there and damage him. Just remember that when he's below 25% health, that's when he can randomly come unblockable, which is going to make things very, very difficult. You're basically just going to try to survive the 3.5 seconds that's active on. And then below 10%, he's going to have that massive amount of regeneration. And you're still able to deal damage through it, so it's okay. It's not like he's going to regenerate all the way back up. But if you are worried about it, you always could quit out of the fight, but in general, you'll be fine. So again, I'm just trying to temper people's expectations for this fight. This is not one of those ones where there's a super easy cheese strategy that you can just completely dominate a 40,000 boss and Uncollected. This is going to be very long and drawn out because he is unstoppable randomly below the 25% mark. Additionally, you have Bane going on, so once you hit him, you have a 10-second timer to basically make your combo hit in. He is stun immune, and then additionally, his first and second super are not easy to dodge, very difficult to dodge, and then on top of that, they're unblockable. So this is going to take a lot of people. I would recommend team heals for sure. Use team heal, you're going to get 40% back. I wouldn't recommend healing up afterwards. Just do your team healed. It's 100 units each. That's going to get you through there. In general, I'd say it's going to take 2 to 4 team revives. So try to have around like 400 or 500 units. Definitely more if you can. So I mean, if you could have 1,000, that's great. You're probably not going to use them all, but it's always good to have something so you don't have to back out. Again, I'm doing this kind of free to play, so you can definitely do this if you're also a free to play player. Do event quests to build up your units, do earlier chapter maps to build up your units, but this is 100% doable with a team of 4 stars that are maxed out, and you really don't need any specific champion. So yes, you can use Daredevil. Yes, there are people that are very, very good against him that will make this a little bit easier, but you honestly can do this with any champion. So I'd recommend just getting in there with your highest ones, your highest damage output ones, using your boost, so using the boost for attack, health, and attack and health, and then making sure that you have your revives set up, and really don't use heals because you're going to die basically as soon as he gets his first bar super anyways. And as soon as he gets that, just become very aggressive. Even a little bit of damage to the shield is still going to add up. So overall, I wouldn't be too worried about this. Again, this run through here shows it with 2 team revives. If you have to use 3 or 4, there's nothing to be ashamed of there. I mean, this is a very, very difficult fight. They made this very difficult. And again, this is where it gets a little confusing. You're bleeding him and stunning him here, so maybe he doesn't have the same relics after he goes below the certain percent health. I'm not 100% sure on that. So comment below if you know. It just looks like if he drops below the next level of relic, potentially he doesn't have the relics above him. I'm not 100% sure, because right here you can still stun him even though he theoretically has the immunity. The other option is maybe it's not activating early enough in the fight, not 100% sure. Just remember again, as you just saw there, it's very easy to loot a champion very rapidly if you're getting greedy and you try to attack right after your stun. So right here, just stun him, make sure that he stays stunned, and then attack him. So I hope this was helpful. Please comment below if you have any suggestions of other ways to fight the Collector. Please like and subscribe if you can. Share this with other Alliance mates if it's useful for you. I hope this was definitely helpful. And good luck with your Uncollected runs and getting through Act 5.